All right.
All right, good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing? Thank you, Zach, for giving me this opportunity to come up here and speak. Thank you guys for the gracious words that you shared. My name's Steve, and I am in recovery. I'm from the Salvation Army in Wilmington, Delaware. Currently, I'm the resident manager there. I'll just give you a little background. I spent many years in addiction, struggling most of my adult life. I was homeless before I came to the Salvation Army for approximately 1 year. I was living down in Georgetown, Delaware, and I was on the street for about a whole year. One day I decided I'm just going to try to go to rehab and see. I didn't plan on really staying, but I figured I'd give it a try. Salvation Army I did a 30-day rehab at Warwick, and they gave me 3 options to go to 3 different places. They said, I forget what the other 2 are, but they said, you go to this place. I said, yeah, let me go there. Now, Salvation Army was on the last of my list. I really didn't want to go there because of the things that I've heard, which really weren't true. That didn't work out for me because all the beds were full. The second one, they didn't accept me. The Salvation Army said, we'll give you a try. So I winded up going to the Salvation Army. And I remember when I walked into the doors, I really wasn't committed to doing this, to going to the program or even staying in the program. It was wintertime out, and I thought I'd give myself a little bit of time here, and then I'll just go back out. And when I walked in the door, the intake coordinator, she greeted me. Her name is Miss Diana. She was all happy and smiles, and I'm like, I don't know why this lady's so happy. I mean, what is she so happy about? So anyway, they went through the process. I went through the intake process, and she said, can I pray for you or pray with you? And I have no background. When I was raised as a child, we didn't go to church. We didn't have God, we didn't do any of those type of things. And I was like, I'm thinking to myself, what am I getting myself into? Is this some kind of cult or some kind of thing? I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, she prayed for me. And I'll tell you, I felt better afterwards. And I didn't understand at that point what it was all about. But I said, I'm going to give it this program a try. And so I wind up, and it's been a struggle. It's not easy going through being in a treatment center. Our program is anywhere from 6 to 9 months. And there was a lot of challenges along the way that I had to overcome. However, I was able to stick and stay. That's part of it, to stick and stay. And I persevered because there's a lot to it. I'm going to explain to you some of the stuff that we do. But I graduated. I was getting close to graduating the program, and I was planning on leaving. I had some other plans. In my mind, I had some other plans, things that I wanted to do. And they said, well, they let go the assistant resident manager, and they said, would you like to take the assistant resident manager job? I said, you must be crazy. I am not taking that job. I've already been here 7 months, and I have other plans. And the guy's like, well, what are your other plans? I really didn't have a solid plan, so I was like, all right, let me think about it. Let me sleep on it. And what I really wanted to do, because what I learned in the Salvation Army is I wanted to pray on it. So I gave it a night. And I said, I'll let you know in the morning. Anyway, the morning came, and I had a lot of doubts. I wasn't sure that I was smart enough. I didn't know if I was good enough. I think this is the enemy coming at me, telling me, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're never going to be able to do this. But anyway, I told him, I said, I'll give it a try. So I did. I gave it a try. And that was working out good. I was the assistant manager, which is a lot easier than the resident manager. So I did that for a couple months, and then the resident manager said, I'm leaving. I said, what do you mean you're leaving? I said, who's going to take your spot? Certainly not me. I didn't want to do it. I didn't feel like I was qualified enough. There's a lot more to it. But anyway, I said, well, if you're leaving, I figure he's given 2 weeks' notice. He said, no, I'm leaving today at 1 o'clock. He said, I'll show you what I do. I'll give you an hour. So he tried to show me everything in 1 hour. Now, in the beginning, it was a challenge, because I really, I didn't have the good computer skills as I needed to, but I had to learn. And I had to learn fast. And I really wasn't given a lot of help, right? But I managed to get by and to get to where I'm at. So I stayed in that position. And when he left, I didn't become the resident manager right away. It was a couple weeks later they offered me the position. I guess they wanted to see if I could possibly do it. So I became the resident manager at the Salvation Army. And my job is really great. I get to work with people in recovery every single day. All these guys that I know that go through the program, they help me as much as hopefully I help them. I get as much out of them as hopefully they get out of me. Because I get to teach groups. I get to talk to these guys. I'm not the counselor. We have counseling. We have other things in our program. But that's the reward. I'm going on 3 years there soon. And it's just so rewarding to be able to help other people. And in return, I get a sense of good feeling. My life has changed dramatically since I got in recovery. Everything is better and greater. And it's only from the blessings and the relationship that I have with God today that's helped me through this. See, during the process of this, I learned who God was. I learned how to have that relationship. I learned how to love. I learned how to love others, right? This is how I get by every day, is by helping somebody that helps me. That's how this whole thing works, I think. Each one help one. I'll give you a little bit of, but I think the one thing I wanted to convey is a message of hope, right? Also. And I wrote a couple things down because it's an important component of recovery. It requires motivation to overcome the repeated challenges that we face and the ability to generate pathways to overcome those challenges. Hope is a powerful source of strength and encouragement, reminding us that recovery is not only possible, but it's a journey of transformation and growth. And I see that every day. I see people come in. I see the lights start coming on in their eyes. Not only you see the physical change, you see the mental change, the emotional change, and most importantly, I say the spiritual change. Because that is so important. So I'll just give you a little information, because a lot of people don't know, as Zach, we always talk about, they know a little about the Salvation Army, they don't know a whole lot. But we are a structured, supportive environment that focuses on personal growth and spiritual development. Our aim is to support adults in rebuilding their lives. We offer the spiritual, emotional, and social assistance to those struggling with substance abuse and other life challenges besides that, right? Behaviors and other things that we have to go through. The program is a safe environment for recovery. It equips individuals with tools for independence, and we also help foster a relationship with God. We offer the spiritual and emotional support I was talking about you. But it's not easy for these guys. Like, they have to, when you come into the program, we don't take any insurance or anything like that. Our program is fully self-supporting through the donations that people give to our place, which helps pay for the ARCs. And not only that, the Salvation Army does a whole lot of other stuff. In fact, in Texas, they're doing they're usually the first to arrive on a disaster where they have the floods and the last to leave. So disaster relief is there. They have to do work therapy. So when they come into the program, they would be assigned, usually they started in the warehouse. Some guys work in the kitchen. Some guys work in security, and then we have we have one now that's in housekeeping that keeps the place clean. It's a no-cost program. We don't accept insurance. The facility that we have is only 2 years old. I was there when it was the old building, and it was kind of run down, but it was still a good place to be. But this building is really nice. We have a gym upstairs. We have a library. We have 58 beds. We have beds available for whoever needs it. We have a rec room. We have TV rooms. We have a pool table. We have a huge, it's actually in it all, right? Dining area with a salad bar. I mean, our facility is nice. It's very clean, and it stays that way. So it's a good place to come to want to change, to want to make your life better. I thank God for Salvation Army for helping me through my struggles and the things that I went through to get me to where I'm at today. Listen, I still face challenges. It's never going to be. You're always going to have struggles. You're always going to have problems, but you learn how to deal with those things. You learn how to overcome them with God's help. So, there's a lot of things also we learn about coping mechanisms and things that we learn in the program. We have counseling one-on-one, and we have a lot of other things. We have a lot of groups. Zach's group comes in. Thank you, Zach. Strength and Recovery comes in on Monday night, every other Monday. We have AA come in. We have NA come in. So you get a full dose of whatever, and what I always say, whatever works for you. See, because some people, it depends. Some people it's a combination of things. Some people I'm strictly AA or strictly whatever works for you is what I say, because I think that's important, because we're all different. Everybody's different. We all have our own individual choices, and we find our own ways and our own paths to recovery. And if it's keeping you clean, you stay with it. You do what you need to do. For me, I choose God, but everybody has their own choice. So I want to thank you again, Zach, for this opportunity to come out here for me to share some of my how I got to where I am, and how we're available to help others as to keep going. All right, thank you.